I'm the Lonely Necron, and welcome to my basement. So, a while back, I mixed up all of my factions, the 8 that I was looking at, and rebuilt 8 new warbands out of them, with 1 each from the 5 battlefield roles. I then put those 8 teams against each other and got some winners out of that. And then I put those teams against each other and got 2 winners out of that. So today we're going to do the last game in the League of Random series for this year to see who will ultimately win. It's been a lot of fun doing this. I'm definitely going to do it next year as well because I have gained more factions. So today's table is going to be another random selection of terrain that I have laying around. So yeah, the obvious elephant in the room is my big giant castle here in the middle. As always, I hope that somebody gets inside it and fights somebody else to the death. So here we have the winner of Game 5, led by Demon Prince of Slanesh. And because he's a psyker, but because none of his fellows are on his team, he only knows Smite. Because the other HQ in this game also is a psyker, they can do the normal deny thing as well. So for troops, we have 10 Hormigons. For elites, we have 10 commandos with pretty much all the bells and whistles. Heavy support, we have 5 Havocs with 2 las guns, a heavy bolter, and a Reaper chain cannon. And then fast attack, we have this Trigon. Alright, so these guys won the last game, Game 6. And they're led by the Hive Tyrant, who, as I said, he knows Smite. He might be able to deny. He has a Stranglethorn cannon. For troops, we have 10 Demonettes. Elites, we have a Hellbrute with a Hellbrute Fist with a heavy flamer, and then the twin las cannon. Fast attack, we have 9 Scarabs. And heavy support, we have this Death Dread with twin Scorches and twin Dreadclaws. Alright, so the winner of this battle will determine who wins the... I never actually got around to making up like a little... I wanted to give them like a little cup or something, but I procrastinated, so... In spirit, they'll get the crown or something. Maybe next year I'll do something special for it. Either way, we'll roll up deployment, set these guys up, and see how random this shit goes. The Demon Prince won the roll-off, so he chose at the middle of this side of the board. So we've got the Hormigons, the Havocs, and the Demon Prince all in a line. The Commandos are actually going to start the game inside the castle, which makes me giddy with joy, actually. Trigon is burrowing somewhere on the board. So the Hive Tyrant and his team are forced to take the opposite side. So the Hive Tyrant and the Daemonettes are out in front on the left side here. Death Dread and the Hellbrute on the right. And then the Scarabs are all tucked away inside the building. I gave these guys a chance to steal, but they failed to do so. So we'll start with the Demon Prince's turn. Alright, so everybody except for the Commandos advanced. Demon Prince made it up to the castle. Havoc's made it close. Hormigons deciding to go around. The Commandos themselves just moved out onto the drawbridge and closer to it. Unfortunately, there's nobody within range of the Demon Prince for a smite. And also unfortunately, well no, not unfortunately. Yeah, no, it is unfortunate because the orcs are also out of range for shooting and charging, so really all these guys can do this turn is move. Which is sad. That'll make it this team's turn. For movement, The demonettes and the scarabs both advanced. Demonettes got kind of far over here. The scarabs made it over to this jungle portal thing. The Hellbrute and the Death Dread have moved out from behind the building. And the Hive Tyrant has gotten way closer to those commandos. Alright, so the Hive Tyrant is definitely close enough to try and do smite. And the Demon Prince is close enough to see him and attempt to deny if it goes off. You can try and smite the commandos, which he gets with the perils, but it's still d6 damage. 6 commandos die. That's super terrible. Alright, I'll remove those guys, and we'll do some of the shooting phase. That was really some of the most ridiculous stuff I've ever seen. Alright, so the Death Dread here killed off the rest of the commandos with the Twin Scorches. And the Hive Tyrant actually can see these Havocs. So he killed 2 of them. Well, I was going to have the Hive Tyrant charge into the commandos if they lived, but nobody lived. Nobody else is close enough to charge. So, yeah, that'll make it the Demon Prince's team's turn for movement. The Hormigons have moved up here to most likely charge into the Demonettes and hopefully screw them over. The Demon Prince has flown up to the front of the drawbridge. The Havocs have moved up onto the castle area, and the Trigon popped out on the other side. Alright, we're definitely going to get some Seeker phase stuff going on, and hopefully this guy will not perils the same way the Hive Tyrant did. So, closest enemy unit is the Hive Tyrant, so gets it on a 6. Does he deny? He absolutely denies it with a 10. How rude. Alright, so then the shooting phase. Okay, so the dice have definitely been acting really oddly. Not saving for some people. The Trigon did 3 points of damage to the Scarabs, getting 1 down to 1. And the Reaper Chain Cannon shot at the Death Dread and didn't do anything at all to it. The last cannon, on the other hand, managed to kill off the Hive Tyrant. I was super surprised. It failed both of its invuln saves, and then it took 11 points of damage. Alright, yep, still shaking my head. Charge phase. These Hormigons are going to charge into the Demonettes. The Demon Prince is going to try and charge into the Death Dread. And the Trigon is going to try and charge into the Scarabs. Good times ahead, I believe. So, sadly enough, neither the Demon Prince nor the Trigon made their charge. The Hormigons most especially made their charge and wiped out the entire squad of Demonettes. I like to see it when that happens. I do. Alright, so I would say, well, yeah, I guess it's still the Hive Tyrant's team, even if the Hive Tyrant is super dead. But it's his team's turn for movement. Alright, so the Scarabs regained a wound due to living metal. And then they moved way up there next to the Trigon. They're not going to miss their charge. The Death Dread and the Hellbrute just moved up closer to the castle. Well, since their Psyker is dead, they can't do anything about that. So it goes to shooting. So the Death Dread managed to kill off 4 of these Hormigons, which I believe is an excellent start. And the Hellbrute, his heavy flamer and his little Hellbrute fist thingy, Didn't do anything to the Demon Prince, but his last cannon sure did. Knocked him down to half health. Good times. So the charge phase. These scarabs are for sure going to charge into the Trigon, and unless I roll really badly, they're definitely going to make it. The Hellbrute is going to charge into the Demon Prince, and the Death Dread is going to charge into these Hormigons. This is going to be a good time. Alright, so everybody made it in to the charge. Nobody took any damage from Overwatch, which was literally just this Trigon over here. So the Trigon only took a point of damage from the Scarabs, but he killed 4 of them. The Death Dread killed a couple of the Hormigons, and they cut his health in half. And this guy. Yeah, this guy's Hellbrute Fist actually managed to kill off the Demon Prince. So both teams have lost their HQ, but will continue to fight on. And oddly enough, I rolled really low on these guys' morale, so they still didn't run. Awesomeness. Alright. That'll make it the dead Demon Prince's team's turn. Say that one quickly. So after looking over these guys, the Hormigons are going to stay in combat with the Death Dread. The Trigon is going to stay in combat with the Scarabs. And the Havocs are just going to stay here and shoot at the Hellbrute. I mean, if they were Raptors or something, maybe they'd want to charge, but there's only one guy with a melee weapon here. I don't know how much a mace is going to do against a Hellbrute, so... No Psychers, so just a shooting phase, which will just be these Havocs. So the Reaper Chain Cannon actually did 4 damage to the Hellbrute. Las Cannon actually missed both shots. Yeah, like I said, these guys aren't Raptors, so they're definitely not going to be charging into the Hellbrute there. So we'll just do the regular combat between the Trigon and the Scarabs, and the Hormigons and the Death Dread. The Hormigons only did a couple points of damage to the Death Dread, but luckily the Death Dread failed to wound against the Hormigons. The Trigon killed off 3 of the Scarabs and saved against all of their wounds, so good times there. Alright, that'll take us to the remaining members of the Hive Tyrants team. For movement, probably just the Hellbrute. The Hellbrute is the only one to move. The other 2 are going to remain in combat. The Hellbrute has just moved further into the castle proper, so I can finally have a decent melee combat on the floor here. So shooting phase, just the Hellbrute. I was worried, actually, that this guy might actually kill off the Havocs before he had a chance to charge into them. He did kill off 2 of them, but not the Aspiring Champion, so yeah, that's excellent. So here in the charge phase, the Hellbrute will be charging into the Aspiring Champion, and the Scarabs and Death Dread are still in regular combat with the Trigon and Hormigons. Yay, a melee battle in the castle. Every game I've played in the castle just makes it worthwhile. The Hellbrute successfully made his charge, and he killed off the Aspiring Champion, so happiness abounds to me. Unfortunately for the Hellbrute, the Death Dread only killed off 1 of the Hormigons, and then they just killed him. And the Scarabs did 2 points of damage to the Trigon before the Trigon wiped them out. So that was awesome and crazy. I'm glad there was a fight in the castle, because that really makes me happy. But it's now down to the Trigon and the Hormigon to see if they can take out the Hellbrute. So, movement. Alright, so the Hormigons have come around the front onto the drawbridge going into the castle. Trigon has slid backwards from there to the back side of the castle, kind of trapping the halberd between these two. No Sekers, so shooting phase for the Trigon? Yeah. The Trigon's bioelectric pulse did a couple points of damage to the halberd. Thankfully not enough to kill it. I'd like to do that inside the castle. So for the charging, the Hormigons behind it will charge, and the Trigon in front of it will charge. So nobody died in Overwatch. They definitely made their charges. And they definitely murdered the crap out of that halberd. Which means that the overall winner of this year's League of Random is the Demon Prince's team, even though he himself did not live to see the victory. That's okay. If you made it to the end of the video, I do appreciate it. This has definitely been probably one of the most interesting experiments I've ever tried to do with Warhammer. Yeah, I'm gonna go with it is. I'm definitely gonna do this again next year. I got 12 factions, I think, now. So I'll probably have a lot more by then. Good times are coming. Again, if you made it to the end, I do appreciate it. Thank you and have a wonderful day.